Hey, welcome into the channel. This is Big Time here. So this is the first in-person recording on this channel. Thought I'd do something new. It's been simply forever since I uploaded any kind of content on this channel. It was originally created for me to create our Purdue football and basketball hype or highlight videos. Obviously, I did that for a couple of years and had some decent views on some of the videos, but it was a lot of effort back then, and honestly, effort that I just don't have time for currently. So I stopped doing them. Always kind of thought about, kind of doing some Purdue sport, football and basketball reaction type videos, or just simply talking, expressing my thoughts. There aren't too many of those these days on YouTube when it comes to Purdue. Obviously, Gold and Black do a great job. They have a YouTube channel now. They have some videos where they discuss things. I've been a member on Gold and Black for 20 plus years. If you're a diehard Purdue sports fan and you aren't a member, go check them out at purdue.rivals.com. My friends over at Boiled Sports do a great job. They have a number of videos on YouTube. Other than that, there really aren't too many Purdue YouTube channels of any kind where any sort of Purdue discussion is going on. So myself, again, diehard Purdue basketball and football fan, been a member of Purdue Gold and Black for 20 plus years or whatever it is. I am actually a rep for a manufacturing company in the Midwest. So I actually travel very often, driving 6 to 8 hours or whatever in my car for these trips in Big Ten country. And a lot of windshield time. So I figured, why not create a video? It's not going to be the most highest production quality you've ever seen on YouTube. Simply me driving, focusing on the road while talking to you, and expressing some thoughts on Purdue football and Purdue sports in general. It may be, we'll see where this channel goes. I may pop in from time to time, discussing some thoughts on a game or news or whatnot, but I have no expectations for this channel whatsoever. Not trying to make it big, just trying to get some more Purdue voices out there. So I said, why not? Maybe you guys will like it, maybe you won't. So I've actually tried to create this video now 5 times, and I keep going over 30 minutes. So originally I was going to do a Purdue football overview of the upcoming season, and do a roster breakdown of the kind of the depth chart. But that's simply taking too long. So I think I might do an offense and defensive video later on and actually go in depth on some of the players and what we're looking at. And I'm driving in my car. Like I said, I'm not looking at anything on my phone besides my face right now. I don't have any, the roster up or the schedule up, or I'm doing this all off memory. So I think, what I'm going to discuss in this video is kind of just the overall where the program's at and my outlook on the season, where I think kind of we're gonna finish up. So let's dive into it. So I guess just starting off with the program, Jeff Brom has done a great job. It started out in 2017 and 2018 where they might not seem like big seasons with 7 wins and 6 wins, but man, coming off the Purdue Dark Ages, those are huge seasons. He came in here to this program. He had to bring in some grad transfers. He's been recruiting transfers, from day one before the transfer portal, and he's been, plugging and playing. And he was able to get 7 wins somehow out of that 2017 team, and 6 and 7 out of the 2018 team. So basically, Brom, the formula he's been using, and again, he's been using this since 2017, is actually a genius formula for Purdue. And the way that a school like Purdue is going to have to get it done. So what they've been doing, basically, they've been landing top 40 classes, I believe, every year. And they've had some top 25 classes. And in those top 40 classes, they sprinkle it in with a lot of good mid to high 3-star players. But then they get some difference makers that can make a difference on day one, like George, David Bell, Rondell Moore type players. So they'll get like 2 to 3 of those guys per class, or maybe even just 2, and they'll surround them with pretty good program type guys that might contribute in a year, might be 2 years, 3 years. So that's a good way to build a program. But now, and then before the transfer portal, he would bring in some grad transfers to plug some holes, mainly on the offensive line, mainly in the defensive backfield, and sometimes wherever really, wide receiver, but mainly on like the defensive and offensive lines and defensive backfield. Now with the transfer portal, it's getting more aggressive. So they're taking that top 40 class of recruits every year, and they're sprinkling in, anywhere from 7 to this year 11 7 to 11 transfers that from the portal. And with Purdue, with a program like Purdue, the most important thing is when you're bringing in those classes and then you're bringing in transfers, you want to get better in the transfer portal. You're obviously going to lose some guys, on your end through the transfer portal. But the nice thing for Purdue so far is we're getting better additions than we are subtractions. We really have not lost any big names in the portal. Marvin Grant was this year's surprise, and that's a loss, but we're going to be able to recover from that. And then last year was Malik Carr, which obviously MSU tampered with and got him right away, which whatever. But other than that, the guys that have gone portaling for Purdue are guys that aren't getting playing time and are guys buried on the depth chart. So it's been a good, and the guys that we're bringing in for the most part are difference makers. They might not be all Americans, but they're at the very least good two deep players. So that's a great good coaching and good roster management are vital these days in NCAA football. And Purdue so far is, doing, and that's why, we had a great 2021 season. 19 was a disappointment, a lot of injuries, the depth. Brom did do a lot of plugging holes in 18 and 17, and some of the depth was affected in 19, and we had some major injuries that we just couldn't get over. 4 and 8, and that team had that team been a little more healthy, it would have been easily a 6-6 team. But and then 2020 obviously was a shit show. Bob Diaco, COVID, but Bob Diaco was the wrong defensive hire after firing Nick Holt. Brom learned from that mistake, but in Canada right after the season. But it was COVID, just a messed up year. I think we finished 2-4, should have been 3-3 because that Minnesota BS with the offensive pass interference. But so yeah, in the 21 we won 9 games, and we had some injuries we overcame. So looking ahead to this season, man, I've not been this excited. I get excited every year. I drink the Kool-Aid, but man, this year I really do think this could be a special, a 10-win regular season type season. I think 8 wins minimum needs to happen in the regular season. I think it will. I could see this team easily going 9-3 or 10-2 with a trip to Indy. With the schedule and with the depth they have. This is by far the deepest Purdue team, I think, possibly in my lifetime of nearly 35 years. We've had some good, obviously the 2004 team, the one I compare it to, the one with 9 NFL starters on defense, Kyle Orton, Stubblefield, probably had maybe some better overall players up top. But man, I don't know if we've ever had this depth, especially on the defensive line. I mean, we can legitimately go 3 deep. On those good Drew Brees teams, Kyle Orton teams, I mean, they honestly got pretty lucky. They were able to stay pretty healthy because they had, good starters, and they maybe had one good backup, and that was about it. There was no depth there. We can legitimately go 3 deep. So that's exciting. Wide receiver, we're very deep. Semi-unproven in that area, a lot of talent there, but also some health concerns. I'll get more into that on the kind of the position breakdown video. But the schedule, obviously, too. Maybe the most important thing is very favorable. You got Penn State week 1, Thursday night. All eyes are on Fox, under the lights. All eyes will be on us. Penn State has not exactly been a juggernaut in the last 2 years. They're a 500 program. I think we can get that win, and if we get that win, that's going to be a giant springboard to possibly a 6-0. Again, I'm not looking at the schedule, but I think we play Minnesota on our 7th game. It's either our 6th or 7th game at Minnesota. Luckily, it's earlier in the season. It's not late, so the weather hopefully won't be as bad as it usually is for a Purdue-Minnesota game. It seems like we can't play in one game either severely affected by a horrible referee call or a monsoon of some sort. But I mean, obviously the game's at Wisconsin. That's going to be a tough game. We haven't beat them in 20 years or whatever, 2004 actually. So that would be poetic. You know, we have our best team since then, and we won at Wisconsin that year. So maybe we can finally get that monkey off our back. But you know, at Minnesota's a tough game. At Wisconsin's a tough game. At Maryland will be tougher than maybe most think. Iowa at home, we have their number. I think we should be able to win that game. But anyway, yeah, I could see 10 wins with this schedule. Obviously, things can go awry, but if we stay relatively healthy, even we have the depth. So it's kind of skipping around everywhere over here. But you watch some of these videos now of some of these, you know, YouTube videos of season previews for Purdue, and actually they're speaking pretty highly of Purdue. I'll give them credit. And these are guys that aren't Purdue fans. You know, they just do college football. You know, they say that, you know, they bring up the key losses, and they talk about, obviously, we're losing George, we're losing David Bell, and we're losing Milton Wright due to academics, which, don't get me wrong, are big deals. But no one ever talks about, we played an SEC team in their home state in Nashville for the Music City Bowl, and we won. And not only did we win, we won without, get ready for it, no David Bell, because he sat out for the draft. No George, he sat out again. I get it. No Milton Wright, so David Bell's replacement that was supposed to replace him for this year was already academically ineligible. He couldn't play in the bowl game, so we already played, so he did not play. We played, then Mackey, our starting cornerback, he was out due to academics, the senior. I don't know how that happens, but his final year at Purdue, he was academically ineligible to play in the bowl game. So we were down him, and we were already out without Corey Trice, who was hurt. He got hurt very early in the season, was out all year, tore an ACL. And then we were without Greg Long, our best offensive lineman, who graduated. So, and we were out Branson Dean, our best tackle, who had COVID. And I'm pretty sure we were without somebody else too. It's escaping me who else did not play in that game. But what I'm getting at is we beat Tennessee without these key control. I mean, and they are, don't get me wrong, they're key players, very good players. But we've played a game without them, and we won against an SEC team that was basically missing nobody. I think they had maybe one guy going. To me, that right there just shows the depth of the program and how much depth we do have now. And really, we have all those guys coming back that played in that bowl game for the most part. I mean, key losses now, besides the guy I'm talking from the bowl game that did play in the bowl game. Jackson Anthrop, obviously, that's a big loss. Who else here? Horvath, the running back, he's gone, and Jalen Alexander, the linebacker. Might be Marvin Grant to the portal. So those guys, obviously, they did play in the game. I'm pretty sure that's it, and we'll be missing them. But I think we reloaded in the transfer portal. We got the Iowa guys. We got Tyrone Tracy, who I think would be pretty good for us, replacing Jackson Anthrop. The guy I really like is Charlie Jones. I mean, obviously on the punt and kick return side, that's a ginormous upgrade, and somebody we haven't had back there since like Vinny Sutherland 25 years ago. But I think he's actually going to be a very good wide receiver. You know, he had about 316 yards or 3 touchdowns to Iowa in that horrible Iowa passing game. I think he could easily get 700 yards, 7 touchdowns here based off his film. If you just watch his route running, watch his hands. He's going to do jet sweeps with Purdue, and you watch his Buffalo film. I mean, this guy's a good receiver, and I think that's why he got out of Iowa, because he wanted to put on some tape that he actually could be a good receiver, and he could make it to the next level, not just as a kick and punt return specialist. So that's why he's coming to Purdue, and he wants to catch balls from Aiden O'Connell. So, you know, that's a big get. Our cornerbacks, we got 3 guys coming in there on the transfer portal. We just got a running back that I think is going to be pretty solid. That's kind of the last one. We got some defensive tackle depth from the portal, defensive end depth. You know, we pretty much, I think we loaded up every position of the portal except tight end, which we did not need to, obviously, and linebacker, which we probably could actually use a stud linebacker if we could find it. But anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. like I said, I'll go more in depth on the actual positions. Like I said, when I try to combine it together, it's like a 30-minute video. So, yeah, I think I might just wrap it up now. But, yeah, if you like, give me a comment, subscribe to me, give me a like if you thought this content was good. If you'd like to hear more of it. Again, sorry for the production value. maybe, you know, the longer or the more time I've experienced with this, I, you know, fancy it up a little bit. But really, I just wanted to express some thoughts, get some discussion going, get some more Purdue voices out there. You know, we could use some more Purdue voices. Yeah, so with that, I will sign off, man. Thanks, guys.